you couldn't do before?
Well, there's nothing that we couldn't do before. Specifically, it's just a much more relaxed attitude amongst us about how we go about doing the things we do, and decisions are not usually with vast arguments, and we tend to agree pretty much on what we're attempting to do and going for it.
I think the music there's perhaps slightly more a sense of fun on stage or within the band. So the playing is just a little bit freer.
Speaking of fun, tell me about New York.
Like to have fun.
Well, fun is the best thing to have. Tell me about New York. I heard a story about you guys getting on stage and doing some blues or something like that.
In New York?
Yeah, wasn't it?
God, I don't remember. Oh, what, in a club, you mean?
Yeah, getting up on...
having a little jamette in a club. Oh, we do that once in a while,
But tell us what you did on stage.
I can't remember. What did we do?
I heard that you...
It's obviously...
Well, come on now.
I was drunk. I mean, don't ask me to try and remember it.
Oh, okay. The story that I got was that...
whatever it is, it's all...
Doing old Motown oldies and so forth. And my mind conjured up this image of Pink Floyd singing Motown oldies. I'd love to have been there for that.
Well, why not? I used to be in a band that did loads of Motown oldies when they were Motown newies.
That's quite right. I mean, the ancient heritage, the background that we come from, it's sort of English R&B bands of the 60s.
It's funny, you just don't picture somebody like yourself. Of course, that's where it all came from. Picture yourself doing that kind of music. Got to get to the new album.
Pink Floyd's earliest big influence was Bo Diddley, undoubtedly.
Yeah. Thanks, Bo.
He thinks I'm joking.
No, I don't.
Pink Floyd used to do Bo Diddley numbers in its early days.
Well, getting to the new album, one of the guys I work with asked me, whose idea was it to put all the beds on the cover?
Storm Thorgerson, the guy who's part of what used to be Hypnosis, or used to be part of what used to be Hypnosis, who used to do most of our covers. We asked him to do this cover, and I had a picture of a single empty bed. And as usual, our usual joint desire is to go completely over the top. And that's what he did.
There's no idea or no theme behind it other than the fact that it's just...
Well, it's extremely deep and meaningful.
Right.
We'll need to go home and consider
philosophy to understand it, but which is why...
To even look at it.
Absolutely.
On one slip, there's the momentary lapse of reason. The line comes from the song. Just curious as how that became the album title.
Well, it was close to being the album title before I managed to slip it into one of the songs, you see. I like the phrase, and it was on my list of so-called titles.
Where'd it come from?
It sort of slipped out of my brain one day. I don't know quite how or when.
Let's just do the song right now. This is One Slip for Pink Floyd. We've got David Gilmour and Nick Mason in the studio with us right now. 95.5 KLOS, turning pink all week long. There's the Floyd right there from A Momentary Lapse of Reason and One Slip. We've got David Gilmour and Nick Mason in the studio with us, and we're going to talk a little bit more in just a moment. We got to pay some bills first. Good. Nick Mason and David Gilmour are here with me in the studio from Pink Floyd, signing one of our KLOS little private pigs.
A private pig.
A little pig. It's our KLOS
private
pig. It's
cat.
When the big pig was flying over the parking lot to leave it to some of the ladies, should have noticed that it was a boy pig, but...
You spotted that, huh?
I heard that you guys filmed some stuff in Atlanta during the tour. Are we going to maybe be seeing this sometime soon? Is that true?
Yes, it is true.
It is true. We did film some stuff, and it is true. You probably will be seeing it.
As in a movie or video work, or am I going to have to draw it out of you, or what?
Well, I don't know how soon all of it will be out, but there's certainly going to be a video from The Turning Away, coming out pretty soon. That you'll see on your local MTV station.
That and except for like some stuff on Ummagumma a couple of years ago, there hasn't been any live Pink Floyd that I know of. Anything like that in the future?
Well, we filmed it all and recorded it all, but it's going to take a long time to put it all together, and we're kind of busy at the moment. So the sound mixing and the video film editing of the whole thing, and we haven't even decided exactly what we're going to do with it when we've done it, but it's all in the can. So.
On previous tours, I recall that there was times whenever you guys played songs that weren't released yet or future songs and so forth. Nothing like that now?
Nothing like that. I mean, the bootlegging foot paid to anything like that, I think.
It's still possible, I suppose. But
what do you think about the success of Dark Side of the Moon? I mean, it's been on the charts now 400 years, something like that.
Very upset about it.
Well, I know you're upset, but I mean, do you ever get back and think about it? Like, wow.
Why didn't we release it in 1967, we think? And we'll be up for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years ago today, Dark Side of the Moon. But I mean, I'm sure you never could have imagined it would be that successful. What do you think about it is about that record, that particular record that just endures?
Well, funnily enough, you're the first person who's ever asked that. And I still can't think of an answer.
The drums, I think, probably.
It's probably the drumming, yeah.
Speaking of drums, do you think you're a better musician today than you were then, say 10 years ago?
Think very carefully before you answer.
Yes, I'll have to get my lawyer to answer that question. Yeah, I think inevitably hopefully one has to improve.
What do you gauge that against?
Well, it's difficult because what you ought to gauge it against is
All the young 18-year-olds are much better than you are already.
Exactly. So it's quite hard to gauge. But I suppose you listen. I suppose you listen to what you've done and what you're doing now, and just hope that it's better.
Nick, what do you think of drum machines and that type of technology?
What do I think of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they are used correctly. They're a good thing. I mean, all these tools are there to be used in whatever way. I mean, there's so many different ways of using things now. You don't just have to slap the drum machine on. You can use a combination of machines or sampling or live drums or whatever.
There's obviously a better camaraderie going on between the band, just from what you've said and so forth these days. Does that mean that in the future, now not now, but will there be no more solo albums?
No, that doesn't mean anything. Apart from the fact that we're having a good time, we get on very well together. This whole project finishes well. This tour finishes next August, someplace in the world, God knows where. And
Is it?
the next project, individually or together, is whatever we think of then.
Were you nervous the first time you went on stage for this tour?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's just, we knew we'd sold the tickets in quite a lot of places, but that isn't necessarily the end of the story. What really matters is how people respond to the music.
One last question, and this is just kind of a big question, but the word Pink Floyd, when you think of that word, you see that word, what do you think of?
Say Roger Waters. I don't know. What do you think? I can't relate to that question, man.
Like I said, it was a broad question, but it's just I had to ask that one. Just if you had something that you conjure up when you think of Pink Floyd, a thing or a scene or an event or a.
I think of the last 20 years of my life, so it's quite a lot to think about.
It's a pleasure to finally meet both of you after all these years, and look forward to seeing the show. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure. It was an extreme pleasure. Right now, we're going to play On the Turning Away from Momentary Lapse of Reason.